I would rather be cheated on than ghosted.
Ooh. Sounds like we have some steamy content on the docket today, Tom.
The question I want to address today is actually from a young woman.
I'm sure we'll botch this horrendously.
I think we can give her some perspective on the relationship side of it, and hopefully some of the previous color commentary has done that, but I think it'll be helpful for her to hear what the other side of this coin might be, and hopefully give her a little bit of optimism for the future going forward.
Yeah, let's take a look.
All right, so this question comes from a 16-year-old young woman. She says, I had an unbelievably healthy relationship with my now ex-boyfriend. We were so open and honest. We knew each other's family. We were inseparable. We were together for only 4 months, which doesn't seem like a lot, but we spent pretty much all the time we could together. He left for vacation, blocked me on everything. I never got reasons, closure, nothing.
Stone cold.
I'm at the point in the breakup where I've accepted it is over and I'm ready to move on. But whenever I see a potential guy I meet now, or even see a happy couple, I have flashbacks and they make me so sad. So why is it that I'm ready to move on in every way, but I continue to struggle, feel stuck, and get scared of falling in love again because I fear I'll never find another love like ours? This is every high school relationship. This is like the beginning half of a rom-com.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Yeah.
And she's at that point where she's going to eventually meet the man of her dreams and ride off into the sunset.
I'm really curious how long it's been since the breakup. I don't think it's said. But isn't there some like random rule of thumb, twice as long as the relationship, and then you're usually back on your feet by then? Point being is within 8 months, this will be a moot point.
Yes, for sure.
I read Cosmo, Tom.
I bet you do, buddy.
7 ways to save your relationship. Page 120.
To me, it's one of the most disrespectful things that you can do to ghost somebody as a means of breaking up.
Pretty weak sauce, pretty chicken shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. Like, that is a bitch move.
Shots fired.
It is, right? And that's why I asked you earlier if you had ever ghosted somebody in a breakup.
No. I've been ghosted, but I've never ghosted anyone.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's scary, dude. I know it's scary. You got to have a hard conversation. You got to talk about feelings. It's part of being an adult.
It is.
Fucking grow up.
And you know what I love about hard conversations? I've said it before, I'll say it again. The more hard conversations you have, the less hard conversations you have. I get it. We've all been sick. Well, unless you're 15, we've all been 16, right? Things that you really think matter, that are near and dear to you, you will look back on and you will chuckle. And you're like, okay, yeah, great, thanks. Another useless piece of advice from a really old person. But honestly, I look back at stuff that was so silly and so insignificant in the grand scheme of things, and my perspective has changed such that it's actually great fun to look back on some of these things. But I understand it may feel like your heart's breaking, it may feel like your world's ending. Give it time and give yourself the opportunity to have a different perspective on it. This too shall pass.
It's perspective, and it's also just understanding the way things kind of work. So it's a 4-month relationship, which feels long for you, but in the big scheme of things, I guess it's a medium-term high school relationship.
Yeah,
At the same time, if this dude ghosted you after 4 months, it obviously wasn't the same thing for him as it was for you.
Right, and you likely dodged a bullet that could have hit you, if you'd stayed in a relationship
big time.
for a lot longer. And I understand, okay, 4 months, that could be a good portion of a school year. Did your identity completely change, right? You were no longer you. You guys became them or us, or right, whatever, because you said you spent every waking moment you could together, right? You almost ceased to exist as an individual. So, I mean, I understand why that's hard to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, ghosting,
That's freaking
I can't
weak
get over
sauce.
that. You can challenge me on this, but I would rather be cheated on than ghosted.
Ooh. Have you ever ghosted anybody, Tom?
No.
Have you ever been ghosted?
I don't know. Does meeting someone at a bar and them not texting you back count?
I guess in one way or another.
But no, as far as an actual established relationship being ghosted, no. But here's the thing. If you've been cheated on, at least you know why you broke up. And you know that you can have animosity toward that person for something that they did to fuck that relationship
Like you
up.
feel justified in that.
Yeah, there's some closure.
Now,
That's
on
all
the
it
other
is,
hand,
closure.
On the other hand, if you're ghosted, so what's the other side of that coin?
The other side of that is exactly what she's saying. I have no idea why. I don't know what the reasons were. And I have no closure. And it makes that wound remain open and fester for longer because you're still in the back of your mind the possibility that this is just a mistake.
Yes, but I think you could still have closure. You don't know why. Yes, you do, because they suck. That's why. If they cheated on you, it's because they suck. That's why. It's them. It's not you.
Yes, especially from this young woman's perspective, that's the story. This dude's a douche. Period. Yeah, you thought you were in love, but guess what, man? People thought Jeffrey Dahmer was cool too, and that didn't work out well for them. So you just never really know a person until you really get to know a person. And even if you have the DTR, you can have a DTR and then that shit will blow up. I remember there was one relationship, the one relationship that I truly feel bad about. I was dating this girl. I already knew that we weren't really compatible. And she kept introducing me as like, oh, this is the guy I'm dating. And at one point, I was just like, aren't I your boyfriend? She's like, well, that's pretty serious, and I don't know if I want to go there. I need to get to know you better first. Very smart thing for her to say. All of a sudden, my mission was, I want to be her boyfriend, and that's what I pursued.
Oh, she got you, dude. She got you.
Yes, but here's the shitty part
that
about
space
it.
between your ears was hers, not yours.
It was, but then the shitty part about it was, as soon as she started introducing me as her boyfriend, I was like, all right, I'm out. And
see, this is it. Just people just suck. All of us. We suck. They suck. Everybody
I was
sucks.
100% a shithead in that situation. And Nicole, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you ever happen to hear this, that was all me. I'm sorry. But that's the one that I still feel bad about.
Yeah.
Because I knew we weren't really compatible. I knew it wasn't going to be a long-term thing. And I knew that that's what she was looking for. And I still let it on to the point where I just wanted to win that point of the boyfriend title before I let it go. So, yeah, dudes are dickheads. That's just it, man. We're shitheads. That's what we do. That is our nature.
But it doesn't make it okay.
It doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make it okay. From the other side of that, though, I did tell her, person to person, face to face, this is not going to work, and here's why, and that is what it is. So I've never shied away from that side of it. That's a coward's move to do what this guy did.
Everybody's running around trying to DTR. I was just trying to DTF. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm a dirtbag. I was a dirtbag.
You're still a dirtbag.
I'm a reformed. I can make up words too, Tom. Reformed dirtbag.
I would just, this young woman, it is what it is. It obviously wasn't the same thing for him as it was for you. And that's going to happen again. I mean, unless you happen to marry the next guy that you date, which I strongly recommend you don't, you need to get some more experience before you decide you're ultimately ready to settle down, be in love, have a true relationship. You have to ask yourself, you're in high school, are you truly looking for the person that you think you're going to marry? And if the answer to that is no, then you got to assume that there's going to be multiple breakups between now and then.
Yeah, and here's the thing. If that person is the right person, that will still be the person in 10 years, in 20 years. There is an insane amount of divorce right now. You know why? Because people rush into things too quickly, and then they're not committed, or they are committed, but they don't work on it. And
or they're committed for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, or that, absolutely. Don't take it lightly. If you're thinking long term, then take your time. Prepare for it like it's a race, a marathon, not a sprint.
And the other thing you can take away from this is a silver lining. You can't know what good is as a feeling until you also know what bad is. You need that contrast. So that devastation that you're feeling right now, while it sucks, fucking embrace that.
Yeah.
Because the next relationship, or when you actually find someone who's a good fit and you guys have that DTR defining the relationship and agree that yes, we're on the same page, we see this going somewhere, that high is going to be so much higher because you know what the low is.
Yeah. And what I think would be, it's awesome. It sounds like you're through the thick of it and you're accepting it, but you're just dealing with some of the fallout, right? The flashback, whatever you want to call it. I'd love to know, what did you do to get yourself here? What did you do to accept it? Because a lot of the hard work's been done, and now you just have to allow it a little bit of time.
It sounds like there's a little bit of fear to go into that again.
Don't.
Yeah, you get bit by a dog. You don't pet that dog again. I understand that. But this is one of those things where, you know what, it's part of life. We get beat down, we get smacked around, and you have to get back up. That's it. Relationships is one place that's going to happen, It's going to happen to you in jobs. It's going to happen to you just walking down the street and some shit happens that goes wrong. I mean, things happen.
The point being is it doesn't matter how many times you fall down. What matters is how many times you get back up.
To wrap this thing up, this is pretty cut and dry for me. You know, sorry you're going through it, but get back on that horse because you got to keep trying. That's it.
Absolutely. I think too, I know it's hard, but people suck. All of us do. Try to extend each other as much grace as possible, and keep in mind that we judge ourselves by our intentions and we judge everybody else by their actions. So we're always a little bit easier on ourselves and harder on everybody else, but they're doing the same thing. We all suck. Be awesome to each other as much as you can and learn, live, and grow.
Yeah. And don't ghost each other, guys. Come on. Don't ghost each other. Just be a fucking person. Have a conversation with somebody. I'm sorry if it's scary. Feelings are real. Conflict and confrontation happen. You have to practice that too.
Absolutely.
And this is one of the safest places to practice confrontation is in a breakup because
it should be.
It should be, right? It gives you an opportunity to sit with some really serious emotions face to face with somebody else. True vulnerability because you're in that moment sharing those emotions and having a true conversation. And if you can work through that, man, a lot of other stuff is going to be a lot easier for you in life.
True.
Stop ghosting, don't suck, and carry on. That's all I have to say.
Sounds good, Forrest. All right, man. A pleasure as always. Until next time, Shithead Nation.
Yeah. All right, brother. Have a good one.
You too.